They were literally like nailing me on the course itself and the project, but they loved it. They liked every single portion about it. And the great part about it is that they literally just saw, oh, I did directly. They're like, okay, you're past IT. Like, you already know what IT is all about or help this is about. So they passed it. And that's why I think they were a little bit more comfortable with hiring me, because at least I knew Active Directory.
Today we're going to be interviewing Edgar. He's a graduate from the hands-on cybersecurity course, and he went from no prior IT background into a position as a SOC analyst. He did a really great job in his preparation and his projects and everything, and he talks about the whole application and interview process. So I think you will get a lot out of this. Listen to what he has to say, because he's kind of in that position that a lot of people are aiming for. So definitely watch the interview to the end, listen to what he's saying, and implement it. On to the interview. Hey everybody, Josh here. I'm a YouTuber and cybersecurity course instructor, and we have Edgar here. He went through the cybersecurity course and probably did a bunch of other stuff that we'll figure out, and got a nice job as an information security analyst.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, the course was amazing. That's all I can honestly say. And then ask me questions. Let me dive into it.
Okay. Can you do you mind doing like a brief introduction of yourself and what you're doing kind of before you decided to take the course and like get into cyber?
Yeah, before landing my role in cybersecurity, I was actually a Scrum Master. So anyone who's not familiar, it's basically a kind of a project manager in the Agile format. But did that for about a year and a half, and honestly, I just didn't really find any much value in what I was doing. But the whole purpose of it is basically to help a company get better, and I think the company was already at a better spot. So I just felt like my role wasn't really utilized as what it was. But through there, I learned about what Azure was and kind of got my AZ 900 from there. And
Nice.
just kind of dove into what cloud was. And then from cloud, I always knew cybersecurity, and then that kind of transitioned me into that. I actually saw your video on WGU about the cybersecurity course, and after watching that video, I was hooked. I was like, I'm gonna make the career pivot, and the rest is history. And before that, I was a sales manager. If that really helps out, but I do think that really helped out with like negotiating and the salary, and we can get into that. And honestly, just going through the interview, it really did help out.
Gotcha. How long did it take from the time you were like, all right, I'm going to go to cybersecurity until like you got your job? What was that timeline like?
So I started WGU in July of 2023, and we're currently in April of 2024, and I actually got landed my role in February of 2024. So less than a year,
Damn.
but
Oh, it's
I actually purchased your course at the end of the New Year sale. I believe that's what it was called, the end of the year sale. So I got it for
okay.
like a little bit cheaper. So it took me 2 months after the course. So it was honestly really cool.
Okay. Yeah, that is really fast. Did you finish WGU already? Or are you still going to
No,
school?
actually, I still have my pen test plus and my capstone left. But I was
Okay,
about
damn.
75% done when I landed my role, actually.
Okay. That's a good execution on your part. You did a lot in less than a year.
Yeah, I transferred
So
some
you
courses
started
there,
our
but it was great.
Okay, cool. You started in February, you said?
In
Or your new
my,
job?
my current role?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started in February. So I'm about 2 months deep.
Okay. Gotcha. Do you mind, can you give us like a overview of your day to day? Like what does a typical day look like for you if you have a typical day?
Yeah, so it's funny. It's a joke that we all kind of have in the SOC. We're basically human spam filters. Anyone reports anything they think is spam, and it's supposed to be used for malicious, like flagging any or sending any bad emails, I think. But we basically just filter a lot of spam. But other than that, we do focus a lot on endpoint detection. And obviously we respond to that. Depending on the shift you have, so if it's like more in the later shift, which right now I'm currently working in the later of the day, I focus more on threat hunting. So even though I'm a level 1, it's kind of what I'm
Okay.
focusing on, and they're really big on career growth. So they give us a lot of tools and things to do. And actually, funny part enough, my big project right now is working up all the Sentinel queries that we use and trying to provide any more.
Oh,
So I took off some of yours from your course and then built upon those.
uh-huh.
And then obviously,
Oh, nice.
exactly, and then queried a little bit more about, for the company. But honestly, your course helped out with that, having a baseline and then kind of like diving more into what we need to find out.
That's crazy to hear, and that's kind of what I hoped to at least give the people an intuition to build on top of, because a lot of it is a black box. So I'm glad that it was useful in real life, at least a little bit.
No, yeah, it's super helpful. I'm working up this documentation, which helped out.
Cool. How do you feel your life has changed? Did you adopt a new kind of stress from working in cybersecurity, or do you feel like less stress, or overall, like, I guess what's the difference?
Stress wise, no, my job is amazing. There's not, I don't, when people say they have alert fatigue, I don't really have any of that. It's always something different every single day.
Well, that's good.
But I guess the only stressor I have is I'm a quick learner, so I learn everything super quick, and then I start doubting myself, and then I guess imposter syndrome. And now that's kind of where I'm at in my job. 2 months in, I'm already having imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't know enough, but then when I look back on where I started, it's, I've learned really quick. But honestly, I've been a lot happier. It's better for my family. I do feel like I have a purpose, I guess, in life, in the sense of like a career. And honestly, it's really helped me out. I tell people I'm in cybersecurity, and they just think of, wow, you're so smart. You know so much about computers and whatnot. And actually, my wife, she tells me like, hey, the printer's not working. I'm like, I don't know how to work that. That's out of my realm of knowledge. But it's super cool telling people. I'm always in the Discord letting people know like my tips and my tricks of how I got my role, and basically everything about WGU and your course. And honestly, it does give like a sense of worth, I guess. It's, I like helping people out, and it's really, helped me with that. So yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I like that too. I kind of struggle with that a lot of my adult life, finding worth in what I'm doing. And I do feel like at least a bit better, like doing YouTube and like helping people. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, can I ask like what made you like decide to get the course over like, doing some other boot camp or something like this?
Well, one, I saw your old videos on WGU, and obviously, you didn't really pitch the whole get a job in 90 days or make $100,000 in 30 days and whatnot. So you had a credibility there. I trusted you. Saw the WGU course. Once I was already in WGU, I was like, this guy's legit. I trust him. And then I saw that you had the IT course, and then the cybersecurity course. I just kind of, we were promoting it a little bit more. But funny enough, I was in WGU. I had the trifecta already. And everyone says that I was kind of under the illusion, if you have the trifecta, you're going to secure a job. And then later on, I found out that certifications don't obviously give you a job. It gives you just a baseline proving that you know the knowledge or that you know the concepts. From there, I applied to many help desk IT roles, and I wasn't getting any calls back. Even though I had my trifecta,
really?
I had a Azure Directory project in my portfolio as well. I didn't have a GitHub, which is actually, we can dive into that. And yeah, I wasn't getting any calls back. I was the contender for one role, and they went with someone else with a little bit more experience. After that, I said, screw it. Let me try to get into cybersecurity, honestly. Let me see if I can even get my foot in the door. Because a lot of the postings are just it's a wish list. They want someone with, for example, 2 years or 3 years. And I always tell people, go for it. You never know. So when your course kind of was on sale, I purchased it. And funny enough, I applied probably to 10 places, security roles, and one called me, and that's the one I landed the job with.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. I had a better time after your course than even going through the whole WGU experience.
Damn. Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Did you use it? Did you use the internship component at all?
Yeah, I actually did.
Of the course?
I probably helped out around 8 people. I know you have like different, experiences. But I did help out about 8 people. Honestly, I was just super busy at the time, so I couldn't help out more. But it actually did. They asked about it in the internship. They asked me what it was, and I had explained that it was more, helping out people secure their, or not secure, but, it was, it was helping other students build their SOC and their honeynet. And then I told them about NIST 853, and we kind of went down a whole rabbit hole on that, on literally just the project. Probably like the first half of the interview was just the project. Um,
Oh,
but
nice.
but yeah, they asked me what it was, and they liked that not only did I do the project, but I was also helping out other students. So basically, it reinforced my knowledge of the course.
Yeah, it does. I noticed that after helping in the beginning, I was like troubleshooting with everyone. And I'm like, damn, I really know how to like set up Sentinel now, and like I know how
Right.
to like do KQL really now, really well now. Yeah. I'm sure they like that. As someone who hires people, like I'm really happy if I see someone doing something unconventional, like if they're doing like a project or something like this. Um, I really like that. So I'm sure they were like impressed by your project. Can I ask like did you have like an interview loop, or you just have like one interview and you got hired, or was like a panel or like many interviews, or how was
um,
that?
yeah, so I got reached out by the recruiter through email, and my tip
Hmm.
is be available as quick as possible. You want to hop on the interview. There was one for there was like the last spot, I guess, for that week that I had emailed. I had gotten an email, and then there was a couple for the next week.
Hmm.
I literally did it on that Friday. Um, did it as soon as possible. It was at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I had to wake up early. But I got the
Nice.
interview, met with the hiring manager, sent out an email literally like 3 hours after, thanking him and whatnot. Got pushed to round
Mm.
two, and then talked to two security engineers and a security analyst also on the team. And
Okay.
honestly, my whole "tell me about yourself" literally answered most of the questions on the interview. I just talked about the
Okay.
course and what I did, and they're like, "Okay, like you know your stuff." Let's just
Oh,
kind of ask you
nice.
a couple more questions.
Do any preparation before the interview? Like, did you practice questions, or you just kind of like did your lab and went right into it?
No, actually, I had seen your video about how you answered the interview questions and kind of wrapping in the course about that. Did that? I probably watched about
Okay.
halfway, just because I didn't want to like jump on my brain right before the interview. But I used ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I prompted it to
Okay.
ask me questions, medium level, low questions, and regurgitated a bunch of them, and basically asked it, how can I showcase my knowledge a little bit further? And using the voice feature and whatnot. Um, and it's key building that intuition that you always talk about. It's You want to sound confident in your interviews and your responses, and that really helped out.
Yeah, good work on that. For anyone watching, you should do what he did and use ChatGPT. Is really really useful.
Yeah,
Cool. So, are you allowed to give like a ballpark of your salary? Like, if there was a range on the job
yeah.
description,
I'll
anything
give a
like
range. It
this?
was 75 to 85. Mind you, I don't have any enterprise experience in security, let alone even IT at all. So to
Dang.
just kind of just wonder what I got. But I did negotiate for a bonus actually. Um,
Oh, nice.
or actually, at first I had negotiated for a higher salary, and basically what I was asking for, they just offered me as a bonus, and I said, okay, that's fine with me. I wanted my foot in the door, and they were kind of not closing that door either way, so I accepted it.
Yeah, that's really good actually, to go straight into cybersecurity and like a decent salary too.
Right? Yeah.
That's pretty that's pretty good. If someone's like watching this and okay, aside from the course, is there any other resources that you used? I know you said you had your trifecta and you used ChatGPT a bit. Other than the course, like what might you recommend people like looking into or doing, if there's anything?
Here, let me see my notes. I'm trying to remember.
Sure.
Um, Yeah, besides the actual course, I would highly recommend probably doing an Active Directory course, or just having that on your portfolio. Reason being is when they actually pulled up my GitHub when I was in the interview. They pulled up the project and they pulled up my GitHub, and they were asking questions about literally everything that was on there. And
Oh, really?
yeah, they
Dang.
were literally like nailing me on the course itself and the project, but they loved it.
Wow.
They liked every single portion about it. Um, And the great part about it is that they literally just saw, oh, Active Directory. They're like, okay, you're past IT. Like, you already know what IT is all about or help this is about. So they passed it. And that's why I think they were a little bit more comfortable with hiring me because they knew at least I knew Active Directory in that case.
Gotcha. Okay.
I recommend that.
Gotcha. I'll put like a link. Did you do my Active Directory lab, or you took one from somewhere else?
I did do it, but then the one I put on my GitHub, I did an Azure one just because everyone's kind of moving to the cloud.
Oh.
But I did do your PowerShell one,
Gotcha.
and honestly, that one did help out. They did see that I added 1,000 users with PowerShell, so they love that portion. They asked me how I got the code, and honestly, I just told them I Frankenstein the piece of code, and they loved it.
Yeah, that's what I hope people to do this. I don't want people to be like, trying to. Some people try to be nice and be like, oh, like he taught me or something. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
The whole point is to just. It doesn't help me.
Yeah, I took it a bit further, and I understood exactly what you did and did the text file and like how it parsed the names, so I can explain it at least. And they're just like, oh, he just didn't pull this from someone else's repo or whatnot.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Very good. Cool. Okay. So, is there any particular like part of the course that you found most helpful? That if someone's considering taking it, like what should they really pay attention to?
Obviously, the course you want to nail down everything about it. What I did is I did the course once, slapped it on my resume, slapped it on my GitHub, and then started applying. And while I was waiting for responses, I did it again. You wanted to build into intuition. You want to build a repetition. You want to be able to talk about it in a confident manner because at the end of the day, you're following a course, but it's your project. You're showcasing it. And I did actually the resume was a big key factor. I believe why I got the job as well. I liked how yours was project, experience, certifications, and then degrees at the bottom. A lot of people think that degree is going to get them in the door, and it's not. It's your experience, and if you don't have any experience, it's project. And the way I did yours, I followed exactly the template, but I always tell people is whatever you think is most relevant, put that to the top. So if you don't have any projects or whatnot, put your certifications and whatnot, and just move them around. On average, a recruiter's going to be probably on your resume for 10 seconds, just viewing it really quick, and if they find something interesting, they're going to continue, and then if not, move on.
Yeah, that's how I think when I create the resume, because I know I don't really like reading like a big chunk of paragraph, and I know they're just gonna like read the like look at the top and like kind of down the side in like 10 seconds. So I try to like really structure it to capture like everything, so they don't even have to read it. It's kind of my hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that yours didn't have a summary. Is I want to be in cybersecurity. I want to do this. It's more of this is what I've done. This is what I can provide, and this is my experience. I always tell people that the resume is a barrier to entry for the recruiter. And then in the interview, once you're in the hiring manager, you have to say yourself. The resume is not going to really do anything else at that point.
Yes. It's like get the interview, and then when you're inside of there, convince them to hire you. However you can do that.
Yeah, it's literally just one big funnel when you're trying to get down to the bottom.
Yes, exactly. And then going back to doing the course multiple times, I was going to ask you if you did it more than once, and it sounds like you did. I want to say to like people watching, it's super important to not only even my course, like any kind of hands-on lab or physical thing, the more times you do it, you'll get like a better intuition, and it will become really easy to talk about. Was that kind of your experience? It's like more easy to talk about the more you do it.
Yeah, because I was like throwing in I honestly don't remember, but the Microsoft codes like 4625, and I was throwing in just buzzwords, KQL, and it was something I actually know. So it's it rolled off the tongue easily, and they liked it. They honestly ate that course up. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's your execution on those is super good, and I think I hope people watching this kind of follow what you did, like a lot of practice and like a lot of preparation and redoing the lab. It just makes things like easier when you go to interview. It seriously like helps a lot. So like good work on all of that. I have to like commend you on those. Yeah. So this doesn't have to be like not necessarily related to the course, but do you have any kind of final advice, like mindset advice, or anything for anyone watching who might want to get into cybersecurity and they don't have experience?
Yeah, I know you preach about the pillars of employment. You do want that. You don't have to obviously be the best at every, a certain area, but you want to have a project. You want to have at least a certification. You want to be marketable. That's literally what it comes down to, and that's what the course provides. It's, you don't have any enterprise experience, but I guess you have a project that showcases, what a day-to-day SOC analyst does. Another one is keep applying. I applied to hundreds. I'm not gonna lie, hundreds of applications that keep getting rejections. But at the end of the day, all you need is one. You just need your foot in there or with one role, and then from there, the rest is history. You create a career. Like I've reiterated before, is even though the job is like my job was requesting minimum 2 years of experience, I got in with zero. So apply for those higher end jobs. Apply to senior roles if you have to. Even some jobs I've seen people with no experience at all get into a management position. How, I don't know. But you never know what the job is what they're requiring. Honestly, they probably just like the personality a little bit more than the credentials.
Yeah.
And then the last one I guess I can give, or I guess two, is I always tell people, once you start actually interviewing with the hiring manager or even the team in my case, at that point, everyone else that you're kind of competing against, you guys all have the same level of knowledge, and they know you guys are capable, or they know everyone's capable of doing the work. It's being how likable you are. It's at the same time, it's personality. It's, can they be with you in a SOC for 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day? So in my interview, first thing I did was crack a joke right at the very beginning. And then I made the interview more conversational rather than, being in a fishbowl quiz type situation. And then, follow up at the end of the day, have a follow-up email, thank you email, and then try to give something about the interview. It makes it seem like you cared so much that you try to remember something about the interview, which really helped out. I did that. I timed it, I guess, perfectly. So it was like one of the last emails they would see going into the weekend. And then, funny enough, that weekend, one of the security engineers added me on LinkedIn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a conversation. And he was like, "I was blown away with everything you did. The course, the project was amazing. Your credentials." He actually goes to Doju as well. He's pursuing his master's. And without kind of like not really telling me, he told me like, "You kind of got the job. Just I just can't tell you officially."
Nice.
So yeah. So
okay.
It was
Damn,
amazing.
that's so nice.
It was amazing.
That's so cool. Yeah, congrats on that. That is amazing.
Yeah, honestly.
But I'm sure that's gonna
blown away.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, thank you very much. This interview is going to help a lot of people for sure. You did a lot of really, how can I say? You did a lot of really, really good stuff, right? The good execution, good strategy. It worked out really well in the end too. So congrats on that. I'm really happy for you. Sounds like your job is cool. No,
yeah, I'm super thankful, honestly. Thanks for making the course, honestly. Without that, I don't know how long it would have taken me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for getting it, and good luck with the rest of your WGU.
Awesome. Thank you so much.